Alrighty, hello folks. How's everybody doing out there today? Always great to see everyone. Appreciate folks joining in. Don't forget, put where you're from, country, city, state, etc. See the geeks from South Florida are around, and then we got Mike from up in Ontario, Canada, Niagara Falls area. There we go. Good to see you. Good to see everyone that's out there. This is a topic that I think is extremely important, but I also think it's something that everybody is encouraged to. I hope you do this and learn from this kind of thing. It's kind of where we're going today. So let me just make sure on this. Okay, we got that. Don't forget, and those, if you notice the comments from Mike and also Geeks on Tour, you can see that there's a little symbol right next to their name right there. That means that they are members of my channel, and I appreciate that support. There's Jolyn, greetings from Low Country, South Carolina. Welcome. And yeah, she is also a member. I like that. Whenever you see that little symbol on the YouTube side of things, that means they're a member, and you can join as a member as well. We would love to have you. Anybody that is a member gets a chance at the end to come in. We'll do a quick backstage pass, so we'll keep this not too long and answer more questions in the backstage special with our guest. Speaking of our guest, let me bring on our guest. And it is none other than Peggy K. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me today. I'm going to beat the drum of security. So everyone be prepared. There will be a take-home assignment to check your security settings.
Yes, exactly. That'll be awesome. And you know what'll be nice too is in the backstage pass when we do this, because we don't want to bring anybody's information up live or anything like that, but maybe in the backstage pass with some of our community members, we might get in there and do a little bit of that, do some check and make sure and see, kind of give us an idea where we can go and do that kind of stuff. Before we get kicking off strong here, I'm going to go over all of the topics that we're going to talk about. I'm going to bring those up one at a time, and then we will go ahead and hit those topics, address them each time. So is my account secure? That's the first thing we're going to talk about. Is your account secure for you? On to the next one real quick. Has my account been hijacked? You can find out, hey, has it been hijacked, or what do I do if it has? Is my account jeopardized? Not necessarily hijacked, but just is there jeopardy in my account at all? And then is there anything I can do to fix my account after we get into the effect there of what happened? And then what can we do to keep our account safe? And that's how I wanted to end it, because that's where Peggy, I think, in my opinion, you're an expert. I've always asked you a lot of stuff on this. So let's get right to the first one. Is my account secure? Is there any identifier right away that you can say, hey, my account is secure?
I think so. Really, what everyone needs to do is to go into your Google account settings, myaccount.google.com, go to the security tab and run a security checkup. It actually is a very thorough checkup. It checks what devices are signed into your account, third-party services that have access to your account, your passwords, Gmail settings, all different things that are really important from a security perspective. Go through that list, see what it suggests, take a look, and, follow the recommendations to secure your account.
I love it. It's so important too. And we see, I just recognize the people that are joining in. There's Richard coming in. I saw Andrew pop in. So I just want to put them up there. Yeah. So we're talking about account security. We really are. I mean, it's really important. I think it's an important thing. And it's why I love it. This first thing you just said, go check it now. Mm-hmm. And we are specifically talking about your Google account, which some people don't know this, but that affects when you say Google account, that affects everything. YouTube, it doesn't matter what it is, anything Google, right? So, I mean, that means
everything Gmail. Google. So you sign into Google to access your Gmail, your YouTube, your Google Drive, of course, Blogger, all of these things are managed through your Google account. So if your Google account is secure, that helps keep your YouTube channel secure.
Nice, excellent, and great point. Now, on to the next one. So I've heard people say this. I saw some weird activity, and I wonder, has my account been hijacked? Are there any identifiers that you can think of or see, or what we've heard in the community, that kind of thing? Throw that
Yeah.
out there.
So first of all, I want to give a quick plug on my
Mhm.
website. I know some of
Love
you
it.
follow me, my blog as well. I've made a post with links to a bunch of helpful information from Google and YouTube and from different product experts, really that take a deeper dive into how to keep your account secure, what to do if you think it's been hijacked, and so forth. So I wanted to really focus today on one of the things that we see a lot in the health communities is people notice that their YouTube channel has been suspended or terminated, and they come to the help community and they say, I don't understand this. I only use YouTube for watching videos, or, so they have some subscriptions. Maybe they occasionally leave comments. They don't understand. And the reality is that someone has gained access to their account. And what these spammers and hijackers do is they take these accounts and they start running these scammy live streams, for example, where, buy Bitcoin or something like that. And that gets the YouTube account terminated. So sometimes the first thing people notice is weird videos on their YouTube channel or their YouTube being terminated, and they don't realize that it's because their Google account was compromised. Now, I think there's other things you may see as well. If there's any indication that your settings have changed or that emails are being sent from your account that you didn't actually send, at that point, you've really got to secure your account. There's never a reason not to make sure your account is secure. It doesn't hurt to make your account more secure. So even if it's not a hijacking, your account is more secure.
Absolutely, 100%. And those are great signs. I mean, that's really what you want to take out of this, or what are some of the signs that this is going on, or something could be going on, right? I mean, that's kind of what you're saying with that. Is that correct in saying that?
Anything unusual or abnormal.
Yes.
And, I also want to, why don't you go through the questions, and so I won't get off.
Okay. That's fine. I don't mind. I really don't. It's okay if you do. Is my account in jeopardy or jeopardized? And I think you just answered part of that. So let's go into the next one. Is there anything I can do to fix my account? I think this is a key thing.
So, security checkup. If you do your Google security checkup, it will actually walk you through any security settings you don't have enabled. Take that seriously. You want to add recovery options, a recovery email that's not, the same account, a recovery phone number. Anything you add there will help Google understand that it's really you trying to get back into the account if you lose access. The other thing to do is set up two-step verification. And once you have that set up, go into your account and download or print out the backup codes. Because if for some reason you lose access to whatever the second factor is, those backup codes can be used as one-time passwords to get back into your account. It's really important to do that. And I'll say, Doug, you should set up two-step verification on any account that's important to you. Obviously, your bank accounts, but also social accounts like Instagram and Twitter and all those. And they all have an option to print out or save a backup code. So that's just one more step that you should take so that you can get in. Now, if you have had your account compromised, Google actually has a really good sort of step-by-step things you should look at. But run a security checkup, change the password, and then go into the settings of your accounts and make sure nobody's changed any of the settings. So for example, in Gmail, make sure your emails are not being forwarded somewhere else. And I've heard that hijackers might go into Gmail and make certain emails go directly into the trash, for example. So check your filters.
I like that.
They basically go in and make changes to make it harder for you to spot that something strange is going on. So you want to do that. You want to make sure that any third-party access to your Google account, to your YouTube channel, are third-party accounts that you gave access to. You can usually revoke the access without a problem and then sign into that third-party account and set up the interaction again if you aren't sure. Go into your AdSense account if you have an AdSense account and make sure none of the settings were changed there. Make sure nobody was added as someone with access. A lot of Google products and services allow you to give access to other accounts. That's so that they can help manage the accounts, for example. So that's true of AdSense. Google Drive, you can share documents and folders with other people. YouTube, you can give other accounts access to help you manage your channel. So if you think your account may have been compromised, go in and check all those things and make sure no one who shouldn't have access has access, because they're sneaky. Scammers and spammers are sneaky. And, we were chatting earlier, and I think part of this has to do with thinking about what is the threat model for your account. Different people are going to have different issues. If you are well known, you might be a direct target. If you are not well known, it just might be hackers to send out
a random hacker,
tons and tons of messages. They just, are getting people at random. If you have a personal situation where there's someone in your life who might be stalking you or wishing you harm and so forth, that's something you have to consider too. You might need to make sure your physical devices are secure as well. So there's all these different levels of security. You can't be too secure.
I know the geeks left a good comment here. Codes are from 2013. Should they be updated?
The backup codes, if you're talking about the backup codes, I don't think it matters unless there's a reason to think that someone,
because it's a one-time thing. It's a one-time thing anyway, right? With those codes.
Yeah.
And I want to clarify. I think it's important to clarify, because some people, let's say they're new to this and they're not sure what we're talking about codes. We're not talking about backup passwords. That's not what we're talking about, right? I mean, we're talking about
it's a backup second factor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. So for two-factor authentication, usually what we're talking about is, a password, and then the second factor is something you physically have. So, traditionally people get a text message on their phone, or Google has it set up so that you can get a message on your phone and say, yes, that's me, that's trying to sign in. But what if you lose access to your phone number or your phone? You can have a security key, a physical security key. You can use something like Google Authenticator or another authentication app. There's a bunch of second factors you can use. Yeah. There's always a possibility that you lose access to those. So make sure you have these backup codes. You can use them once. And so then, you try and sign in and it says you need a backup code. You need to get a text message, but you can't get a text message. You can say, I want to use a code instead. You can use each code one time. That's why there's 10 of them.
Yep. And there it is. Jolyn just said the same thing in her comments. One thing that I think, so I want to ask you a question. This is just a personal one that happened with my mom, but what about, can you have more than one phone number as a backup, as a second two-step authentication or verification?
Or
can you not?
I can't
remember.
Honestly, as a second factor, I have not only my mobile phone number, but I have my landline number
Okay.
now. I realize a lot of people don't have landlines these days, but you can actually set it up so you get a voice code over the landline. And so it is a good idea, I think, to have multiple options for the second factor. Because it's meant to keep your account secure. If you lose access to whatever the second factor is, you may not get back into the account. That's the whole point of having it be two-step verification.
Exactly. Well, that. I guess that was my question was, can I, for example, my mom had, she had Google Fi. Well, she had two-step authentication, which was great. But the problem is that her Fi, when she went and got that phone died, there was no way for her to get the authentication. So I had to, luckily her computer was turned on. I went back to her computer and I changed it there because she was already signed to her account and made it my phone number.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to find out, and I guess you're saying it is true, I can have my phone number and her phone number as a two-step authentication.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at the time, but that's good to know. I thought it just was allowed to have one number, and I wasn't sure.
If you go into your account settings, you'll see the option to add multiple ways to authenticate. And, it's obviously a balance between having a backup and making sure that no one unauthorized can access that backup. So you have to really assess yourself what is most practical. But yeah, I would definitely have more than one way to authenticate your account, because if your only way is your phone, what would happen if you lost it?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened to me. And basically, that's exactly what happened in the situation that we had. So I do want to show people, though, I want to share with some folks out there that Peggy's website, because she mentioned it. So I'm going to pull it up on screen. Let me do that right here. It's PeggyKTC.com. So that is the website that I would like people to see. And I did put the link in there. I think someone else, Jolyn also put it in the comments, but this is the website, and look for some stuff. She always has some great stuff on there too. So anyway.
And my most recent post is links to information about securing your account and recovering your account.
How appropriate, right? Nice. Let's see. Yes, we have another phone number for one of our accounts. Awesome. See, I do like, she says, I like the Google Authenticator app. I use it often. Also the Microsoft Authenticator. There you go. Yep, good stuff. And then I have several authentication as confusing. And basically that was my last banner I think I was going to put up anyway. What can we do to keep our account safe? This is for sure one of these things. Do you suggest, and I know I've heard other people say this, and I just wondered your thoughts on process on this. Do you change your actual passwords often? No.
Rarely. Okay. My understanding is that probably isn't really necessary unless you think the password's been compromised.
Gotcha.
An important thing, though, is to not use the same password for multiple sites and services.
Yeah.
I know there were some people years ago now who were saying, that makes things so much easier, but that is a problem. If one site gets compromised,
that's right.
It compromises it everywhere. So use a unique, strong password, different password on different sites. Use a password management tool. I'm using the one Google offers. It's available in Chrome, passwords.google.com, but there's lots of other good password management that lets you set a really random password and then be able to access it when you need it. So
totally agree.
Now I wanted to mention another thing, and this mostly applies to YouTubers. There have been a number of cases where the YouTubers, they have all the security settings on their account. They have two-step verification set up, but their account is hijacked anyway. And what happens is that there are malware apps and extensions that can steal sessions. They steal cookies. And basically, they are making a clone of whatever browser that you're using that's already signed into the account. So, specifically for YouTubers, this happens sometimes when they get sent something that's supposed to be a business proposal. Oh, we'll pay you to promote our product. Download the product and give it a try. And they do that, and then
now they have access.
It turns out to be malware. It can be something that looks like a PDF. There was Linus Tech Tips is a big channel. They were hijacked because one of the managers of the channel received what looked like a legitimate business proposal. It looked like a PDF file. They downloaded it on their computer and opened it, and it hijacked their sessions, which gave them access to the account. Now, that was probably targeted because this is someone who manages a big YouTube channel. Even if you have a small channel, though, the hijackers basically take over. They live stream spammy things, buy Bitcoins or whatever the latest scam is. And then your YouTube account may be terminated because it's violating policy. So be really careful before you download or install anything. YouTube support is never going to ask you to install something. One of the really, really sneaky ways this was happening, I think mostly last year, but the spammers, the hijackers, would go to YouTube, make a video that said, oh, we're worried about your account. In the description of the video, they would say, to make sure your account is okay, click this Google Doc. And, and they made it sound really scary in the description. And because of YouTube's, the way it works, they were able to make that video private and then share the video with a bunch of Google account email addresses.
Oh, wow.
When that happens, the people who are invited to see the private video get an email that comes from youtube.com. That's one of the things, of course, you tell people to check. If you get an email about your account, make sure it comes from youtube.com or google.com. This was a way to trick people because this generates an email from youtube.com.
Right.
And it says, and then if you clicked the link to the Google Doc, it had malware. There was some phishing or, malware or delivery there. So sneaky. But know that Google support, YouTube support, is never going to ask you to click a Google Doc. It's hard. You've got to be on your toes all the time. That's why it's so important to have the recovery options for your account, because even really savvy people, even people who are really careful, one bad click and they can hijack your account. Yep. Now, the other good thing that maybe annoys some people, but for a lot of what they consider sensitive actions on your Google account, on your YouTube channel, you need to sign in again. And the reason for that is that if someone has access to your account by stealing the sessions, by stealing the cookies, they're not actually going to know the password for your account, so they won't be able to sign in to take those actions. A lot of that is, for example, transferring your YouTube channel to a different account or linking AdSense, a bunch of things. So if you are trying to make changes and you get that prompt to sign in again, that's why it's happening, for security.
Very interesting. Yeah, some good comments out there too. I know, and Richard said, do you get 10 new codes if you use the 10 you already have?
Yeah. If you use up your code, you can generate more.
You have to do that though, right? That's a process you go through in the security thing. Say, hey, I need to regenerate these
Yes.
codes. Is that correct?
You go to the Google account security settings,
Yeah.
two-step verification settings,
Right.
and you can generate the backup codes. And if you think for some reason you lost them or someone else can see them, you can have it generate a fresh set of 10 backup codes as well. But I think the other thing to consider is if you're using those backup codes a lot, maybe you need to set up a different second factor.
Yeah, that's true.
Is more accessible to you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it was more of informative and understanding that process. Yeah, these are all good things. This is great. All right, we're going to start wrapping it up here, folks. We're going to bring it into the backstage because I want some time for Peggy to talk to our community members, people that are members of my YouTube channel, which would be awesome to have that. And I appreciate you coming on and talking about this because I think this is a very important subject. I think it's one that needs to be this conversation. The other thing I want to address too, check this often. I mean, don't just make this a 1-year spring cleaning kind of process. I would say, if not quarterly, maybe even just go through it monthly. Just make it a monthly check. Just double check, because anything you can do to avoid it. Because I like what you said earlier when we were talking, because we're both product experts for Google. And we find in the accounts, when people reach us in the account section or the YouTube section, a lot of times it's already too late. Is that, I mean, would you say that's true?
I think that it definitely is worthwhile to check more frequently. One thing I have noticed is that if you click your Google account icon at top right, if you're on google.com doing a search, it may actually show a little thing saying, hey, we found a security problem. But you have to know to click your profile photo, and it's much better to be proactive and check your security settings. It actually just takes a minute or two, and a lot of times you won't have to fix anything. But it's good to see that everything is as you expect it. Maybe go in for spring cleaning to remove third-party access for services you aren't using anymore. I know I had a bunch of things that were linked to my account, things I just kind of tested out, maybe for YouTube or something else, and I don't need them anymore. You can just remove them. And I really want to point to what Andrew is saying, what you just put on the screen.
Yeah.
So often people try to set up security after the damage is done. It's much harder, and there's a real chance that you won't be able to recover your account. Although, let me just also say, if you have a YouTube channel, there is more support for account recovery for hijacked accounts specifically. If you have a YouTube channel that's been hijacked, you are expected to go through the account recovery process, hopefully recover your account, and then there's a hijacking. Hopefully they can help fix things if your channel was suspended. If that doesn't work, check to see if you have the option to contact YouTube support. You may, if you still have access to your Google account and your channels in the YouTube Partner Program, you could do that through the YouTube Help Center. Otherwise, you can ping Team YouTube on X Twitter.
Yeah.
This is not great, in my opinion. I'm trying to use X a lot less, but they're there and they give direct support. And of course, the other option is to post in the YouTube help community. It's much better to not have your account hijacked. It's much better to be able to recover your account yourself. But if it doesn't work for some reason, there are support options if you lost access to your YouTube channel through hijacking. It's very specific to that.
Nice. Peggy, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. That's awesome. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot.
Thank you for having me and letting me. This is one of my personal crusades to get everyone to secure their accounts better.
And rightfully so. I think that's awesome. I think that's great. I'm going to go ahead and end this. People, I will put the link, those that are members, I will put the link into the normal spot, into the Hangout, I still call it Hangout, the space, the chat space where we all are all located and have comments. I'll put that over there for everyone to come join us in the backstage. I already have it open, so I will expect and hopefully see you guys in there. Peggy, I will give you the link as well so you can join. Folks, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining. And Peggy, as always, I always appreciate any time you come on because it's always very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take us on out. Let me do that. And we'll see you folks next time.